pain.
Pain?
No, my path was set when I lost my own passion for what I was doing. My story is a very common one, where I had a good career and I owned my own little business, and I lost my love for my own job. I didn't want to wake up and do it again, and I was deeply embarrassed by this because superficially my life was good. And so I didn't want to admit to anybody that I didn't want to do it. And so I was lying, hiding, and faking every day. All of my energy went into pretending that I was happier, more successful, and more in control than I actually felt. So it was a dark time, and it was the discovery of this thing called the why, which rejuvenated my passion in a way I'd never experienced. I shared it with my friends. My friends asked me to share it with their friends, and this path was organic.
What any advice as it relates to the increasing notion of gig employees, remote workforces, building cultures, and coaching and leadership around that, and then some of the challenges?
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. Talk to your Uber driver and find out, if they're making any money. And Uber takes more and more money from them, and they can. Some of them are just paying for gas. They're not making a living. So the gig economy on itself is a great idea. It comes with liabilities as well. So I just think, again, it goes back to balance. I think these things aren't good or bad or right or wrong. They're absolutely remarkable and innovative, and they have massive opportunity, but they have to be balanced. Things go, pendulum swings. We all want to have the security of working for a firm. We all want to have the freedom of working for ourselves. It's like we see it in consolidation and expansion in industries. We have 4 big companies, we have 4,000, and then we break them all up, and it's the pendulum. But I think remote offices are the really interesting one. We have a virtual company. We're an entirely remote team, and if you have that, obviously there's huge opportunities and value, but you have to work doubly hard to make sure that there's plenty of video conferences and regular check-ins. We sometimes have lunch with each other on video conference, just because to stay connected, and to have events like this. Events like this are the value of events like this is not the stuff that's happening on the stage. This is just the fun stuff. It's your opportunity to meet people that, instead of checking your email in all the breaks, put your cell phone back in your room. You'll get it later, And from a leadership standpoint, just as an aside, nothing undermines trust more than telling your team that I'm going to a 2 or 3 day offsite to learn how to be a better leader, and then checking in every hour and weighing in on every decision and every email. Nothing says I don't really trust you guys to do things while I'm away than checking your email constantly. So I think it's a lot of work, because remember, it's about human relationships. It's not just about getting the work done. It's not just about, school isn't just about the textbook. It's the relationships we form with our friends. It's the teachers it's all of that. And I cannot overestimate more the importance of the human connection and the responsibility each of us have to work hard at building those human connections, especially in our personal lives, but very much in our professional lives, that we can turn to someone and call them friend, not just colleague or coworker, and have all the same emotions.
Last question. What do you think is the biggest challenge for an entrepreneur, other than the coaching, leadership part that we've spent a lot of time talking about, for the question set for the remainder of the 21st century, but if you want to bring it down to a more manageable time scale, we certainly appreciate your insight.
Yeah, I think loneliness is it. If you go off and do something by yourself, quote unquote, it can be very lonely. And even if you have partners, if you're the driving force, the passion, the visionary, or if you just reach a level of success in your own organization, it's very lonely. Leadership is a very lonely experience sometimes, especially when you see the world a little differently. And all of the pressures on us are to think short-term and finite and be safe. And so if you think a little differently, and if you have a little curiosity in the world, it can be rough. And so I always recommend that life or work or career is, for any of us, is just too difficult to do alone. So really work hard at protecting those friendships and those relationships, because not only is it important to ensure that someone is there for you, even just in a time of doubt. Doesn't mean the chips are down, it just means you doubt yourself. but there's no greater joy that any of us will ever experience than the opportunity to be there for someone else who's struggling.
Simon, thank you very much for sharing your insight and thoughts.